Like this, no be small matter they happen so today. Hey, as I declare you so, Ruben Abati and Rufai of Arrest TV, they don't blaster Governor el-rufai. On to say, man, Governor el-rufai go they call Peter Obi, say Peter Obi is just a Nollywood actor and he's going nowhere. Can you imagine? Anyway, I don't want to talk too much. I would like when I watch the video when I say, when I hear everything they talk concerning this matter, after you watch them, just comment your opinion on how you reason this matter. Then still share the video, make other people watch them too. Make them comment their opinion on this matter. Oh yeah, nah. When I watch the video.
Amid speculations arising from allegations made by the governor of Kaduna State, Nasiru el-Rufai, that elements in the presidential villa were undermining the chances of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, the governor on Thursday clarified his stance, insisting that the elements he referenced know exactly who they are. He spoke with Charles Onyagulu on our nightly program, Primetime.
Let me restate exactly what I said. I'm a quantity surveyor. I am mathematically tuned to be accurate even in my use of words. What I said was, we are convinced that there are elements in the villa, some elements in the villa that want APC to lose the elections. I did not say the federal government. I did not say Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. I said APC, all right? So I don't understand why the federal government is responding to what I said, because the federal government is not part of it. And I referred to elements in the villa, and I know who I'm referring to, and those that are in the villa know who I'm referring to.
Well, in another development, the governor on Thursday dismissed the chances of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi winning the presidential election. In a live television interview, the Kaduna State governor said Peter Obi does not have the necessary support across all states to win the election and described him as a Nollywood actor. Let's take a listen before we take some reactions.
How can Peter Obi win any election? Peter Obi is polling 1% in Sokoto, 2% in Katsina, 5% in Kano. That's why the votes are. All states are not equal. The fact that you are doing 70% in Anambra State does not mean somebody doing 10% in Kano is not better than you. Kano is 4 million votes that actually happen. Anambra is what? The number of votes in Anambra is the size of one local government in Kaduna State. So all states are not equal. If you poll states and you make them equal, yes, Peter Obi will sweep the southeastern states. He will do well in South-South. Where else? He's not polling well in Southwest, other than a drop in the ocean in Lagos. He is polling in the Christian enclaves in the north. He's polling well, but how many are they? How many? Peter Obi cannot win the election. He doesn't have the number of states. He doesn't have 25% in more than, the last time we checked, in more than 16 states. He can't go anywhere. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor, and that's all he will be. This election is between the APC and the PDP because they have the footprint, they have the spread. Ethnicity and religious bigotry will not take you anywhere. And that's what the Labour Party campaign is about.
All right, let's take some tweets. Well, this person wrote, I totally agree with el-Rufai. Peter Obi is a Nollywood actor. In fact, Dati is a Kannywood actor too. Common trader who is campaigning with just 4 people in a room. Peter Obi cannot even win his state, Anambra, let alone 36 states. Labour Party is going nowhere. Thanks, el-Rufai, for this revelation. Well, Okpara wrote, I really understand the pain this man feels. No one will take it lightly with a Peter Obi that was supposed to be unable to pull 200 people in el-Rufai's Kaduna, but instead did 3 successful rallies in el-Rufai's Kaduna. El-Rufai, please accept our condolence. Well, another person wrote, el-Rufai is stirring up controversy. This idea of population density in the north is a myth. It's been debunked. The Middle Belt and southern states can't be paying more tax, consuming more resources, and spending more on energy. Yet, the North claim a higher population. You know, I'm coming to you, Rufai, because you always quote data and statistics. What do you make of that last tweet before we talk about everything?
At first, that's why we have a census coming up this year, and please, every Nigerian should go out there and be part of the census. It's coming up after elections, so we can have empirical data. But secondly, we challenge Mr. el-Rufai to bring out the data that shows that Peter Obi is polling 1% in Katsina and Kaduna and some other states he mentioned. Because they are the ones that are quick to say, oh, the data is rubbish. When these people, when Bloomberg released their data, they said it was wrong. So please, he too should be able to bring out the data that shows that Peter Obi is polling 1% or 2% in those states. And if he says a presidential candidate is a Nollywood actor, it speaks so much of him as a person and the character. It speaks so much of Mr. el-Rufai as a character. Presidential candidate of a political party, it has degenerated to you abusing presidential candidates now and calling them all sorts of slurry names. Anyway, if Peter Obi's presidency is comedy to him, I would tell him something that is not comedy to him. The fact that workers have been denied their rights in Kaduna State is not comedy. The fact that there's massive insecurity and killings in Kaduna State is not a Nollywood film. I think he should face that in his state, probably act that well and ensure there's a resolution to the season film of insecurity and Nollywood movie of insecurity happening in the state first before you abuse another presidential candidate. The things he said yesterday, I also challenged him to name the names of people that are against the presidential ambition of the APC presidential candidates. He should name them. We keep asking this question because today now they have gone to the villa, and that's why please will call on President Muhammadu Buhari. Let common sense, let a heart and political will prevail. We have on good authority that over 7 governors are there from different states, from the APC now. They are about to enter a meeting. Why is that it's only the APC that is complaining about this Naira redesign? Like Professor Imolen said, we are happy. He's a presidential candidate of the Accord Party. They said we are happy at least votes of Nigerians will count. But why is it that for over 4 days now, the APC have only been the party that has been complaining about this? Other parties have not complained about it. Why is that the case? He says he has empirical evidence. He says he has evidence as regards conspiracy. He should release the evidence before the elections. You see, we just want free and fair elections, and we don't want monetization. Because formerly, people used to buy elections in this country. It was always about the highest bidder. And President Muhammadu Buhari is trying to stop that with this Naira policy.
Yes.
We just hope that after this meeting, we don't see another extension. Because we know that was how President Muhammadu Buhari was met. They met with President Muhammadu Buhari the last time to be able to get the first extension. Please, Nigeria is bleeding already. And these political actors should cease. This country is for all of us, not only for their personal interest alone.
Right. You know, Ayo, we were discussing yesterday only about Aisha Buhari backing el-Rufai's statement, that first story that I took. Like Rufai said, what is the use for Nigerians to know that there are people in the Aso Rock sabotaging, you know, either the elections or whatever, or what have you? Why is it coming out now? Why can't he name these people?
Well, that's a big question, and we're looking forward to him responding to Nigerians by actually naming these villains.
Yeah.
He mentioned, still clarifying, because as we identified earlier, he'd gone to a number of media houses to speak about his statement, absolving the president of any wrongdoing, and instead saying that there are people, in fact, he actually said in one of the interviews that some of them are not APC members. They are just people, allies who come around the president and offer him bad advice. And so the question again to ask is, who is really in charge of the economy? Who is in charge of Nigeria? Who makes the final decision? Who does the buck stop with? Because with APCs, you know, with Governor el-Rufai of APC coming out to say that, oh, it's not the president, it's people who are not even loyal to the party, who do not want not just the presidential candidates to win, but APC as a party in itself to win, coming from his interviews. It would really help Nigerians to know who these bad eggs are. It would really help Nigerians to understand why it is pegged on the Naira design and the fact that all of a sudden, you know, the APC members are seeing the hardship of Nigerians that they are not able to access these Naira notes. I'd like to also ask him that hope they are also engaging or expanding this same energy to other issues that are affecting Nigerians and speaking to the president or fishing out the bad eggs who are giving the president this bad advice as to, you know, the scarcity of petroleum, the cost of price, inflation and other matters, security and other matters beyond just the redesign of the Naira notes.
Dr. Abati, is the week of tell it all, isn't it?
Okay, first, let's deal with this buggy of fifth columnist certain elements in the villa. And, you know, that everybody is saying they cannot name those persons. Who are the principal figures within the villa? I work there, I live there, so I have an idea. You have the president, who is the president of Nigeria. You have the vice president, where you have the office of the vice president and his team, right? You have the chief of staff to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You have the PAMSEC, State House, okay, who works with the chief of staff to run the administration. So these are the principal people. The rest of the people will be, staff, starting with special advisors. The only major special advisor that has office there may be special advisor media, and maybe one or two. But they are supposed to serve the president. They're supposed to serve the principal. Maybe the commandant of the Brigade of Guards, who comes in every morning to do their parade before the president goes to the office. Okay, maybe another principal element in the villa will be the wife of the president, the first lady, who has an office there, and maybe the wife of the vice president, who will probably come in and go out. So who are these unidentifiable flying objects inside the villa?
Flying object.
Who are the ones influencing the president with regard to policy? It will be dangerous indeed if there are some faceless characters who are not official actors, who are the ones dictating the policy of Nigeria. And that is why it is important for Nasir el-Rufai, who says he knows those people and that those people know themselves, to name them.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
they are not, people recognized under the laws of Nigeria, then it means that we are in a bigger tragedy than we can imagine.
Absolutely.
That unknown elements, like unknown soldiers, like unknown gunmen in the southeast, that these unknown elements have taken over the presidency of Nigeria. That is the real problem, because the presidency of Nigeria is at the center of the democracy. Number one. Number two, the point he was raising about, there are one local government in Kaduna State is more than the whole of Anambra State. In fact, that is part of the problem with Nigeria. Because Nigerians have been saying that, look, Nigeria has been organized in a lopsided manner, whereby you will have more local governments in Kano State than in Lagos State, where all the states of the north will have more local governments, more allocation under Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution than almost all the states of the south combined. And we hope that this imbalance that Nasir el-Rufai is using to demonstrate the strength, the numerical strength of the north, translating into voting strength, will be one of the things that Nigeria at some point will address. And we will have correct information about the distribution of persons in Nigeria.
Well said.